A soldier with green whiskers leads Dorothy, the Scarecrow, and their companions through the vibrant streets of the Emerald City to the room of the Guardian of the Gates. Dorothy inquires which road leads to the Wicked Witch of the West. The Guardian of the Gates responds, "There is no road. No one wishes to go that way." The Guardian explains that if the Wicked Witch knows they are in Winky Country, she will capture them as slaves. The Scarecrow asserts, "We plan to destroy her." The Guardian states, "No one has ever destroyed her before. Be cautious. She is wicked and fierce and may try to stop you." The Guardian advises, "Keep to the west where the sun sets and you will find her." They thank him and head towards the west, walking over soft grass filled with daisies and buttercups. As they walk, Dorothy notices that her lovely silk dress, once green, has transformed into a pure white garment. As they advanced, the ground became rougher and hillier, for there were no farms nor houses in this country of the West, and the ground was untilled. In the afternoon, the sun shone hot in their faces with no trees to offer shade. Tired, Dorothy, Toto, and the lion lay down upon the grass and fell asleep, with the woodman and the Scarecrow keeping watch. The Wicked Witch of the West had one powerful eye that could see everywhere. While sitting at her castle door, she spotted Dorothy and her friends asleep on the grass. Angered by their intrusion into her land, she blew a silver whistle hanging around her neck. Instantly, a pack of fierce wolves came running from all directions, ready to obey her command. The Wicked Witch commanded the wolves, "Go to those people and tear them to pieces." The leader of the wolves questioned her, "Are you not going to make them your slaves?" The Tin Woodman, sharp axe in hand, stands ready as a pack of 40 wolves charges toward them. With precision, he swings his axe, cutting down the first wolf in a swift motion. One by one, he defeats each wolf, until all 40 lay defeated at his feet, showcasing his bravery and strength. As the morning light breaks, Dorothy awakens to find a large pile of slain wolves. Initially frightened, she listens as the Tin Woodman reassures her of their safety. Grateful for his bravery, she thanks him sincerely before they sit down to a much-needed breakfast and continue their journey. On the same morning, the Wicked Witch steps to the door of her castle, peering out with her one sharp eye that can see great distances. She scans the horizon, plotting her next move. Dorothy saw all her wolves lying dead, and the strangers still traveling through her country. Anger surged within her, and she blew her silver whistle twice. Immediately, a great flock of wild crows flew toward her, darkening the sky. The Wicked Witch ordered the King Crow, "Fly at once to the strangers, peck out their eyes, and tear them to pieces." The wild crows surged toward Dorothy and her companions. Seeing the approaching crows, Dorothy felt a wave of fear. The Scarecrow stood tall and said, "This is my battle. Lie down beside me and you will not be harmed." The others obeyed and lay on the ground. The crows, seeing the Scarecrow, were frightened, as birds always are by scarecrows, and did not dare to approach. The King Crow scoffed, "It is only a stuffed man. I will peck his eyes out." The King Crow lunged at the Scarecrow, but the Scarecrow caught it by the head and twisted its neck, killing it. Another crow flew at him, but the Scarecrow twisted its neck as well, defeating it. 40 crows attack, but the Scarecrow bravely twists their necks one by one until they all lie defeated around him. Furious at the sight of her fallen crows, the Wicked Witch blows her silver whistle 3 times, summoning a great buzzing swarm of black bees. "Go to the strangers and sting them to death," she commands as the bees fly towards Dorothy and her companions. The woodman notices the bees approaching. The Scarecrow instructs him, "Take out my straw and cover Dorothy, Toto, and the lion so the bees cannot sting them." The woodman follows his orders, and soon Dorothy is safely covered in straw with her dog Toto and the lion. The angry bees find only the woodman to sting. They attack him, but their stings break against his tin body, causing no harm. Defeated, the bees fall lifeless around him, resembling small heaps of coal. After the danger passes, Dorothy and the lion stand up. Together, they help the woodman refill the Scarecrow with straw, restoring him to his former self. With renewed determination, they set off on their journey once more. The wicked witch was so angry when she saw her black bees in little heaps like fine coal that she stamped her foot, tore her hair, and gnashed her teeth. She called a dozen of her Winkies and handed them sharp spears, ordering them to go and destroy the strangers. The Winkies were not brave, but they had to obey their witch. They marched towards Dorothy, but were scared away when the lion let out a great roar and leaped toward them, making them run back as fast as they could. Upon their return to the castle, the wicked witch punished the Winkies with a strap and sent them back to work. She then sat down to ponder her next move against the strangers. Frustrated by her unsuccessful attempts to defeat the strangers, the wicked witch remembered her golden cap, adorned with diamonds and rubies. This magical cap allows her to call upon the winged monkeys 3 times, who will obey her every command. The wicked witch can only command the winged monkeys 3 times. She remembers her first 2 uses of the golden cap. The first time, she enslaved the Winkies to rule over them with the help of the winged monkeys. The second time, she fought against the Great Oz and drove him out of the West, again aided by the winged monkeys. Now she realizes she can only use the cap 1 more time, so she hesitates until she has exhausted her other powers. With her wolves, crows, and bees defeated, and her slaves frightened away by the cowardly lion, the wicked witch understands she has no other choice. She retrieves the golden cap from her cupboard, placing it on her head as she prepares to summon the winged monkeys for one last attempt to eliminate Dorothy and her friends. Standing with determination, the wicked witch performs the spell. She begins by balancing on her left foot, chanting, "Epe, pepe, kaki." Then she shifts to her right foot, declaring, "Hillo, holo, hello." Finally, she stands on both feet and shouts, "Ziz, zi, zuz, zi, zik." With these words, the magic of the golden cap begins to take effect. The sky darkens ominously as a low rumble fills the air. Suddenly, a flurry of wings rushes forth, accompanied by chattering and laughter. The sun breaks through the clouds, revealing the wicked witch surrounded by a group of monkeys, each sporting immense wings. Among them stands a larger monkey, the leader, who approaches the witch. He states, "You have called us for the 3rd and last time. What do you command?" The wicked witch replies, "Go to the strangers within my land and destroy them all except the lion. Bring that beast to me. I wish to harness him like a horse." The leader responds, "Your commands shall be obeyed." The remaining winged monkeys threw stout ropes around the lion, winding them tightly around his body, head, and legs, rendering him unable to bite, scratch, or struggle in any way. After binding the lion, the winged monkeys lifted him into the air and flew him to the witch's castle, where they placed him in a small yard surrounded by a high iron fence, preventing his escape. Holding Toto tightly in her arms, Dorothy stood by, observing the distressing fate of her friends and fearing that she would soon share the same fate. The leader of the winged monkeys approached Dorothy, his long arms outstretched and a menacing grin on his face. However, upon noticing the mark of the good witch's kiss on her forehead, he halted and gestured to the others not to harm her. The leader proclaimed to his fellow monkeys, "We cannot harm this little girl, for she is protected by the power of good, which is stronger than evil. Our only option is to carry her to the wicked witch's castle and leave her there." With great care, the winged monkeys lifted Dorothy and flew her swiftly through the air, finally placing her gently on the doorstep of the witch's castle. Upon arriving at the castle, the leader addressed the witch, saying, "We have followed your orders as best as we could. The Tin Woodman and the Scarecrow are destroyed, and the lion is securely tied in your yard." The wicked witch was both surprised and worried when she saw the mark on Dorothy's forehead, for she knew well that neither the winged monkeys nor she herself dare hurt the girl in any way. The wicked witch laughed to herself, thinking, "I can still make her my slave, for she does not know how to use her power." She then ordered Dorothy harshly to follow her and obey, threatening her fate if she disobeyed. Dorothy went to work meekly, determined to do her best since she was glad the wicked witch had chosen not to kill her. While Dorothy worked, the wicked witch planned to harness the cowardly lion like a horse, thinking it would be entertaining to have him pull her chariot. As the witch opened the gate, the cowardly lion roared loudly and charged at her, making her afraid and prompting her to quickly close the gate. "If I cannot harness you," the wicked witch said to the lion through the bars of the gate, "I can starve you." The wicked witch stands at the gate of the lion's prison, declaring, "You shall have nothing to eat until you do as I wish." Each day at noon she asks the lion if he is ready to be harnessed like a horse, but the lion always replies, "No." In the dead of night, while the witch sleeps, Dorothy sneaks to the cupboard, gathers food, and quietly delivers it to the lion, defying the witch's cruel orders. After the lion eats, he lies down on his straw bed. Dorothy curls up beside him, resting her head on his soft, shaggy mane. They talk about their fears and troubles, brainstorming ways to escape their prison. Dorothy and the lion realize that escaping the castle is nearly impossible. The castle is always guarded by the yellow Winkies, the witch's slaves, who fear her power and follow her commands. During the day, Dorothy works hard, constantly threatened by the wicked witch, who brandishes her umbrella, promising to beat her if she misbehaves. Despite her threats, the wicked witch does not dare to strike Dorothy because of a mysterious protective mark on the girl's forehead, which she does not understand. Dorothy, unaware of her protection, feels increasingly fearful for her safety and for her little dog Toto as the witch's cruelty weighs heavily on her. One day, the wicked witch strikes Toto with her umbrella. In a display of loyalty and bravery, Toto retaliates by biting her leg. The wicked witch remains unfazed by Toto's bite, revealing her true evil nature. She did not bleed, as her blood had long since dried up from years of wickedness. As time passes, Dorothy's heart grows heavy. She realizes that returning home to Kansas and Aunt Em is becoming more difficult than she ever imagined. Sometimes she would cry bitterly for hours, with Toto sitting at her feet and looking into her face, whining dismally to show how sorry he was for his little mistress. Now the wicked witch had a great longing to have for her own the silver shoes which the girl always wore. Her bees and her crows and her wolves were lying in heaps and drying up, and she had used up all the power of the golden cap. But if she could only get hold of the silver shoes, they would give her more power than all the other things she had lost. But the wicked creature was very cunning, and she finally thought of a trick that would give her what she wanted. The witch was too much afraid of the dark to dare go in Dorothy's room at night to take the shoes, and her dread of water was greater than her fear of the dark, so she never came near when Dorothy was bathing. She placed a bar of iron in the middle of the kitchen floor, and then by her magic arts made the iron invisible to human eyes. As Dorothy walks across the floor, she unexpectedly trips over a bar, falling flat. During her fall, one of her precious silver shoes slips off her foot. Before she can retrieve it, the wicked witch quickly grabs the shoe and puts it on her own thin foot. The witch is filled with delight at her cunning trick. With one of Dorothy's silver shoes in her possession, she gains half the power of their enchantment, rendering Dorothy unable to use it against her. Furious at the loss of her shoe, Dorothy demands the witch return it. The witch defiantly refuses, claiming ownership of the shoe and mocking Dorothy's anger. Overcome with rage, Dorothy seizes a nearby bucket of water and throws it at the witch. The witch screams in terror as the water hits her, and she begins to shrink and dissolve, fearful of her fate. As the witch melts away, she cries out, asking Dorothy if she didn't know that water would be her downfall. Dorothy, genuinely frightened by the sight, admits she was unaware of such a consequence. With a dramatic proclamation, the Wicked Witch of the West falls to the ground, transforming into a brown melted mass that spreads across the kitchen floor. Realizing the witch has truly disappeared, Dorothy fetches another bucket of water and splashes it over the melted remains. She then finds the silver shoe, cleans it carefully, and places it back on her foot. Finally liberated, Dorothy rushes out to the courtyard, eager to inform the lion that the Wicked Witch of the West has been defeated, and they are no longer trapped in this strange land.